Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a flagship timepiece from de Bethune of Lauberson, Switzerland. This, in 44 millimeters, is the white gold DB25 Perpetual Calendar. So 44 millimeters in diameter by 12.6 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 51.3 millimeters. It has a 24 millimeter spacing between the lugs. It is a large and complicated timepiece. It is not thick, however. It'll slide easily under a dress cuff, but on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, you can see it's right out to the edges. So I think you need a wrist of 15 centimeters circumference to wear this watch well. And I would even go so far as to say it's probably ideally suited for a wrist of my size or larger. You get much smaller and the lugs are going to overlap the edge of your wrist. The strap is of a high grade, large rectangular scale alligator leather black semi-gloss. You can see it has a sheer cut side showing the layers of leather. There's a monotone black stitch. It's gator on the top and it's small round scale gator on the bottom. The purpose of this is just to make a more durable strap. Gator's more durable and also more expensive than calfskin. Replacing the calfskin on the bottom with gator costs a few $100 more, but this watch is worth it. You can also see no crimping, no gouging. This is a brand new de Bethune factory strap, and it's matched with a de Bethune factory white gold pin buckle, alternately polished and satinated. The watch has lovely open, airy, prismatic lugs. You can see that they stretch out and terminate in little ogival torpedo tips. That's the last styling vestige of the original de Bethune watch, the 2002 DB1 chronograph. It lives on in many of their modern models as a nod to where they started. Speaking of which, they've made about 3,000 watches since they were founded, and today the company makes about 200 to 220 a year. So consider that, 3,000 total. FP Journe makes about 900 a year, so you get a sense of the exclusivity. Now, the company also does right by its customers, spending a lot on the product rather than on, say, lifestyle and marketing. De Bethune makes its own dials, cases, and movements. So here you can see the case, to good effect, all of high polished gray gold. This is the white gold that never needs to be plated. It's not rhodium coated. The dial is silver with two elements, a toroidal or donut-shaped outer track. You can see that it's printed in blue, which makes for a nice warm contrast, and it has a sharp knurling outboard, giving a little bit of a definition at its outermost reaches. Moving in, you can see there is a disc underneath that, and this is real rose lathe guilloche. This is not a stamped dial. So this rosette pattern that billows out from under the hands, that's real reductive guilloche work. We have fired titanium for the hands, as well as the cosmos that flanks this little moon, and we have a leap year phase indicator. Underneath the moon, we have a perpetual calendar, so the watch does not need to be corrected until the year 2100. It can deal with leap years, it can deal with irregular length months, and as you can see, there's a little quick set system for setting the date as well as the month. On the flank, pusher adjusters for the moon phase and the day. The watch has a moon phase that is basically set it and forget it, because while the perpetual calendar can run uncorrected until 2100, the moon phase has an adjustment interval of 1,112 years. It's also patented because it's a sphere. You can see it's three-dimensional. One half is blued steel and one half is white palladium. Turning it all over, you can see one hell of a movement powers the works. This is a manufacturer caliber, 2 barrels, automatic winding. Remove some of the glue from the case back. Nothing is on the movement. Automatic winding, it has a 5-day power reserve, which is quite impressive given the power-intensive calendar complication. There's a lot going on, too. The company has a patented process for bluing titanium. You see it on the dial, but you really see it on the case back. This is a matte application of that bluing technique rather than the polish on the dial side. You can see a combination of media blasting and satination on the movement. We have an enormous rotor with a white gold mass outboard and then a titanium set of swing arms. With really long arms, you have outstanding leverage, which makes for vigorous and effective winding, but it also puts a little bit of a sort of torsional stress on the rotor bearing. As a result, de Bethune has patented this system of springs over the center, adjacent to the bearing, that prevents it from torquing or twisting in any fashion other than circular motion. You can also see that there are little jewels inside the cantilever springs to prevent stiction, which is a type of friction where something moving in any direction other than linear action can sort of stick. So it's both sticking and friction at the same time. Taking a quick look, you can see all screw heads are black polished. We have quite a bit of this matte finished blue titanium. Taking a quick look at the balance, it's a proprietary design. Blue titanium with white gold masses. The idea is to reduce the influence of temperature fluctuation on timing and put as much of the mass on the rim of the balance as possible. We have 1, 2, 3 shock protection springs for the balance. This is patented. It's called triple parachute, and it's designed to make the watch both more shock tolerant and thus durable, but also a better timekeeper as it more rapidly recenters the balance staff inside the pivot jewel after a shock. We have a silicone escape wheel which reduces friction and improves power reserve, and then we have a flat hairspring. It's 2 elements shaped by hand and then clamped together, giving the concentric breathing properties of an overcoil, but the flatness and the shock resistance of a flat hairspring. And it beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, pivots on 47 joules, and this is all 30 meters water resistant. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.